open up our space by pulling on those 3 lines in the corner. Just pull it out and it can expand your workspace. So this is the first thing I want to make sure that we do. Okay? Another thing that we want to consider doing is sometimes, especially with some of our computers, we're not going to see the whole drawing. So we may have to zoom out. So we go to the 3 dots here. We may have to go to 80% just so we can see fully everything on the page, including when we open up the drawing model, which we'll do in a few minutes. Sam, you're only thinking one way to show your work, okay? Now let's start with the typing mechanism. All the tools are here for you as we talked about. Some of these tools we will not be using. We only need to use the tools that we need to use to solve that problem. So let's begin. Click the cursor into the box. And if we're typing, it means we're putting in the full equation, not just the answer, the full equation. So our equation is 15 divided by 1/3, right? So let's do that. 15, the division sign is right there in my toolbox, divided by, now comes the fraction. Boys and girls, remember we have the fraction tool right here, right? Click on that fraction tool to write in our fraction 1/3. This will show up the line with 2 blue boxes, one on top and one on the bottom for the numerator and the denominator. Put the 1 for the numerator, click on the box, the blue box for the denominator. So you have to click on the box to put in your numbers, right? Great. Now, obviously, this is our equation, but this is not the full equation. Because when we worked it out on the paper, we saw that we had to change the division equation into a multiplication equation. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to show that. I'm showing my work, okay? I'm going to press enter. I'm going to go below it. And I'm going to do it again. 15 now times multiplication sign. And I'm going to put in the fraction 3/1. Or I could just put 3, right? Because 1/3 flips into 3. So I can just put a 3. But if you want to put the fraction 3/1, then you have to press the fraction tool. Understand? But we all know that 3/1 is the same as 3, right? Then I'm going to put my equal, and I'm going to put my final answer is 45. And that's it. The unit is there, so I don't have to write pieces of ribbon because they already put pieces for me. So a lot of times for the answer, they're already going to give you the unit. So you just have to show the work. The unit is already there for me. So that's my final answer. This is one way to show our work, right? Do you remember what's another way we can show our work? Do you remember what's another way that we can show our work besides typing it in?
Drawing it.
Drawing it in, exactly. Very
What's the
good.
tool for drawing it?
Yeah.
Remember the tool for drawing it.
What's the tool? Say it.
The pen icon.
Very good. That mark in the box icon. Excellent. Now, boys and girls, this is very, very, very important. If you're going to add a drawing, you have to place the cursor in an empty space on the next line. You see right now, if I put my cursor right there next to the 15 and I start doing the add drawing, the box of my drawing is going to pop up in the middle of the equation and it's going to move my equation. So I don't want that. I want to make sure that it starts in the next cursor. So right now, I'm going to go here, I'm going to press enter, and it's going to bring me down here to a new space. Make sure that the cursor is on a new space. Make sure your cursor is not somewhere up here in the middle of your equation. Is everyone ready? Okay. So once you have a new space, let's press that marker pen icon there in that box. Click on it, please. And we have our add drawing. Now remember that the reason that we did this, the reason we zoomed to 80% is that we can see the whole box this way. If you're at 100, sometimes you're not going to be able to see all the parts. Sometimes that happens in some computers. So just be careful. If for any reason you're not able to see this part of the box, if you're not able to see the add drawing, if you're not able to see the cure ball, the pen, and the eraser, you're not going to be able to manipulate the drawing. So if you can't see this, then you can't do anything in the drawing box. So please make sure that that happens. Like if you open up the drawing box and you can't see that, you can just zoom out a little bit, okay? And then you'll be able to see everything. So that can help you with that. That's what we use the zoom in, zoom out just to help us make sure that we see the whole thing. So go here, go to the 3 dots. Very good. Zoom down to 80%. And there you go. You see? Now you can see the icon right there. See it? Now you have your icon. All you need to make sure that you have is this. And you can see this part here. Great. So now let's get started. Remember, we're going to use our fingers because we all have touch screens. So we're going to go ahead and press that. Once we press that, we can actually use our fingers to write. So we're going to write our equation. 15. Making the dots is a little more challenging. I know some of you guys do it with a mouse. So I would agree that that's a little better. Divided by 1/3. Right? I'm going to convert that to 15 times 3 equals 45. Mind you that when I start working, I start from the left. Please do not start in the middle because you might not have enough space to continue with your work or your education, right? Or your equation. So please make sure you always start from the left side at the top so that you have enough space because the box is only so big. By the way, if I want to make my box bigger, same thing. I have the 3 lines here, right? And this would help me expand it like this. See? Now let me pull it out. And I want to make sure I see that blue box in the bottom that says add drawing, because that's what I have to press. So doing this can help me kind of open it up a little bit. I can also do this to move it over if I need to make it bigger, okay? So you can move the box or expand it, make it bigger. So once again, if you want to drag the box like higher or lower, so watch me. Back way, look over here. So if it's too low like this, I just click on the black part here. When it comes to that T cross there, like the arrow thing, then I can pull it up so that I can see the add drawing at the bottom. Okay? Once you have your work in place, you have to press add drawing or it's not gonna pop up as your result. So you have to press add drawing at the bottom and it's gonna pop up inside that box, inside your answer box. Okay? So once you press add drawing, it should be in there. Now mind you, you did both, but you're not doing both for the state exam. You're picking one way to present your work. So if you decide to just do the drawing, you just do the drawing. If you decide to just do the typing, you just do the typing. And it can change. It depends on the type of problem you have. Some problems are be easy, straightforward, just type. Some problems require a lot more work and steps. Please do the drawing. I'm just going to read through the problem quickly, and I'm going to explain why this problem is a little bit different than the other one, and comparing it all to practice on Friday. A student writes 67 and 203 thousandths in expanded form as shown below. Here's the expanded form for that number. The student made an error. Do you understand what we mean by error? Error is just another word for mistake. Very good. Where did the student make an error? As part of your answer, listen carefully, write the number in the correct expanded form. We have to write this over again. Then it says, explain your answer. So we're doing 2 things here. 1, we're retyping this basically with the correction. 2, we have to explain in sentences what the student did wrong. Understand? Okay. Here's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to work this out on paper first. We'll do this together. Everyone has their chart paper? Okay? On your paper, remember we put a line there because now this is the next problem. This is number 9. Please number it 9 on the side. You can put a 9 and circle it. You can put a number sign, aka hashtag, over here. And we're going to solve this. Okay? Let's do this together. Right away, let's write down the number first. 67.203, which is 203 thousandths. This is our paper to do our work. So let's do the place value thing, okay? Yes? On top of this, I'm just going to put my place values. If this is my decimal, obviously this here is going to be my ones. I'm just going to put a little O on top of it. You can put underneath it, have your space. What comes after the ones? Tens. That's on this side, right? Okay? But now, to the right of the decimal, what's our first digit to the right of the decimal is going to be? What's that going to be? What's that gonna be? The first one to the right. Say it again. 10. Make the whole, do the whole little snake thing. 10. Take it out there. 10. Good. And what's this one going to be?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. Very good. And the last one? What comes after hundreds? Don't be scared. Say it again. Everyone?
Thousands.
Thousands. Get that snake tongue out of there. So this is just me to help me figure out the place values, right? When we make them into expanded form. Before I do anything in there, I'm working it out on paper first. So let's start putting this in place. The 6 is tens, so I know that that's gonna be 6 times 10. Yes? Pretty simple, right? After that, we have the ones. Plus 7 times 1. Right? Good so far? But now we have tenths. How does tenths going to look like in expanded form? Harmony? 1/10. Very good. So I'm going to do 2 times 1/10. Hundreds? What should I do for hundreds? What should I do for hundreds? Anything?
Nothing.
Why not, Dottie?
Because it's a zero.
It's a 0. I don't need to represent it, right? If I wanted to, I can, but it'll be 0 times 1 hundredths, right? But it's not necessary because we have it. Over here, when I look at my problem, do they do that? You'll see the 0, so they ignore it as well, right? So let's move on to the 3. And the 3 is thousands, so this will be 3 times 1 over 1,000, right? 3 thousands. Make sure that's 1,000s, because we're in the thousands. So, look at ours. Look at what the student did. Where was the mistake? Where was the mistake? Gata?
The student ignored the zero and put the 3,000.
Oh, that's right. So instead of writing 3 times 100, 1,000, they did 3 times 100. Exactly what the mistake was. It's in the 3 times 1,000. It's the correct way, but they wrote the wrong one. So let's go ahead. We're going to do it 2 ways, boys and girls. We're going to do the typing. It's going to take us a minute to get to the typing because we're going to have to press several different tool buttons. This is why I'm also going to show you the drawing method. But let's start with the typing first. You guys are ready? Here we go. Put the cursor in here. We're using parentheses. Remember, we have to write this over correctly. So, first things first, you have to press parentheses first. Find the parentheses. Click on the parentheses. A blue box is going to pop up inside the parentheses. You have to click inside that blue box to type in what goes inside that parentheses. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. The first one is 6 times 10. 6, sorry, 6, press the multiplication symbol. It's gonna go down no matter, you'll see. And then I'm gonna click back inside. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. I'm gonna go put my cursor back in here next to the times, and I'm gonna put 10. So, it's okay, it's gonna pop, it's gonna look like this at first, but look what happens. I'm just gonna click to move on, and it corrects itself, okay? So don't be worried about that, okay? I know, right? That's what I'm saying, I know. Now we do the plus sign. Hopefully we won't get too many problems like this, but you'll see, we're also gonna draw it out. I think drawing is actually faster and easier. I'm gonna press the plus. Next parentheses is, click on the blue box, 7. And I'm actually not gonna use this tool. I'm just gonna use the times on my keyboard because I think it's just fine. So I'm gonna do a space times. It doesn't come out looking exactly the same, but it might just, that might be just one less step instead of us keep pressing. The other thing with the X is it looks more like an algebraic X. Okay. Press the plus. Excuse me, wrong one. Plus. And again, now we're gonna do the fraction one. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna click on the box. I'm gonna do 2. I'm gonna do times. I'm I'm going to click next to the times. Remember, because I missed my space there. And I'm now, pay close attention. I'm going to add the fraction bar. You with me? Inside my parentheses, I have to now add the fractions. Now I'm going to click on this fraction bar. I'm going to get a fraction bar. At the top of my fraction bar, I'm going to put a 1. And at the bottom, I'm going to put a 10. So remember, you got to click. It's going to look like that at first. It's okay, because we're not done. When we press enter, press the cursor on the other side, it's going to be fine. So watch what's going to happen. Now I'm going to click, and it's back to normal, okay? So don't get nervous when you see it that way. Last one, same thing now. Plus, again, parentheses. Again, click inside the blue box. 3 times. If I do that, I have to click again after the times. And for my cursor, I click it next to the times symbol, the multiplication symbol, and I'm going to put my fraction bar. I'm going to click on that. My fraction bar is going to pop up. This one, remember, this is the mistake we found. We're going to write the correct one, which is on our paper. It should be 1 over 1,000. So I'm going to go click on the top for my numerator, 1. Click on the bottom for my denominator, and I'm just going to put 1,000. And boys and girls, you don't have to worry about the commas when you're doing fractional form. It's okay. You can just write 1,000, 1 and 3 zeros. Okay? You can put the comma, but you don't need to. It's still 1,000. Yes.
Can we write what it equals?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, you're gonna write what it equals? Yes, absolutely. Which should be our number, right? So got that as if you can write what it equals, and yes, you can got that. Do you have to? No. Because they just gave us the expanded form, and they say we can write the expanded form, so you can leave it just like this. But if you want to write equals 67.203 thousandths, you can. Okay? Great job. All right, boys and girls, we're done with our expanded form, which we did as part of our answer, but that's only part of the answer. What else we have to do?
Explain.
Now we're gonna have to write. Watch what I'm going to do, okay? Are you guys ready? I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna go down to the next line. Make sure you're on another line. And I'm just gonna write a quick explanation about what the student did wrong, okay? Are we clear? What was the student's mistake? What was the original student's mistake? We said it. Yes? Right, basically they put 3 as the hundredths instead of the thousands. Very good. So let's write, the student showed 3 thousandths as 3 hundredths. Right? That's what they did, right? It should have been 3,000, but instead they wrote 3 hundredths. And if I want, I can even show that, show their mistake, right? And if I want, I can even show the mistake they made. I can show exactly what they did. I can put in 3 times, click right there, put a fraction bar, just to show what their mistake was, and 100. Okay, that's it. Watch. I'm gonna press enter. Remember, we have to go to a new spot before we start drawing. Press enter, make sure your cursor is on a new spot, okay? I'm just gonna open this up a little bit if I want, but make sure it's on a new spot. Please make sure that that cursor is not somewhere in here. It has to be here on a new line. You guys are with me? Okay. I'm just gonna start at, we might not go through the whole thing because you have to go down to assembly. I'm gonna go here to the draw box. I'm gonna press my marker, my icon, and I'm literally just gonna start drawing, right? So I can just start doing parentheses, excuse me, there we go, parentheses, 6 times 10, plus, parentheses, 7 times 1, plus, parentheses, what was the other one? 2 times
110.
1/10, Now you watch this. You see, boys and girls, it doesn't look like I have much space, right? Can I open it up more? Absolutely. I go here to the 3 lines, and I'm just gonna expand it that way. I have more space, okay? Now, again, the last one was 3 times 1/1,000. Yes? Guess what? If I wanted to also, I can write my sentence in here if I don't want to type. If you're comfortable writing in your response in written form, you can do that too. The student made an error with the 3,000. By showing it as 300. I know, because of the time, right? So, don't worry, you don't have to type all this in. This is just us showing you that you have an option. I can do it like this if I want. I don't have to write in my explanation. I can still type in my explanation. It's fine. But if you do the drawing, let's say for this part, you have to add drawing. Don't worry about copying. But let's say if I wanted to type in my response after the add drawing, boys and girls, you see the cursor goes right underneath the drawing. I can start typing if I wanted to. Do you understand? Okay? So you can also type in after a drawing.